From beautiful South Florida, this is the Rick Sanchez Show with Andy Chillis. On today's show, actor Danny Pino.
The check just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Monogram Madness.
I injected my tummy into like 2 months of pregnancy.
Miracle Babies. Here's Rick and Andy. Later, miracle births and stories of hope.
We do welcome you back, and there's no question this is going to be one of the most special segments that we have ever done, because it's not until you have trouble getting pregnant that you realize what a miracle it is to conceive. And today, we're talking to 3 different women with a lot of kids around them who've experienced the devastating effects of infertility, and through the miracles of modern science, they're here now with those children who are going to be a little times like they're going to act like children, but that's okay.
Exactly. Here to share their stories of hope are Christina Nobi. Hello, thank you for coming. We also have Sheila Gutierrez. Thank you for coming. And Elise Beck, who has a teeny tiny baby.
Sheila, we're going to begin with you because we're changing your name to Myrtle, as in fertile. All of a sudden, you end up with 3. How'd that happen?
In vitro. In vitro fertilization. Yeah.
It's kind of a crapshoot, isn't it? You never know what you're going to get.
Exactly.
How many eggs did they put in you?
We inserted 7.
7.
Wow.
And of 7, you got 3.
Got the 3.
All right. And what are the 3? What are their names?
This is Lauren Alexandra, Ashley Nicole, and Osvaldo Joseph.
And Osvaldo Joseph. Great. Kristen, how you doing down there?
Hi, Tristan.
Come here.
You do whatever you want to do. This is your show. We're changing the name.
You want to go sit with your mommy? Tristan.
He's just the cutest little thing. Tell us about Tristan.
He was a bit of a miracle in that I had a lot of barriers to get pregnant. I was 38. I had an immune problem. I had to have surgery. I ended up with very few eggs and only 2 embryos, and ended up with just 1 implanted, and that was him.
A real miracle. Now, you had been trying to get pregnant prior to being, I understand at 38 there lies a little bit of a problem, because they say the older you get, the less likely it is that you're going to get pregnant like that. So, but you didn't just start trying to get pregnant at 38.
That was my 3rd attempt at in vitro. The first time I was 28, the second time I was 34. And by the time you're 38, the fertility doctors treat you like you're 80, basically.
Oh, is that right?
You feel pretty
like on
old.
Medicare.
Yeah.
Tell any one of you can answer this, but for the people at home who have not experienced this, what's it like inside? And by that I mean psychologically. And you don't have to get into psychobabble for us, but what did it feel like to not be able to conceive?
An emotional roller coaster.
Emotional roller coaster. Can you amplify that a little bit more for us?
Every month that you try, you're trying all the time, but every month that you get your period,
Yeah.
and the day that you get your period, it's horrible.
Does it wear on you? How so?
That's all you ever think about, and you can't turn it off. You can't turn it on. It's all the time.
That's okay. You can let him run around. He's a kid.
And
When you're 2, you act like
was-
you're 2.
What was your barrier of getting pregnant? I mean, just infertile? I mean,
We
how did
tried
you
for
finally-
3 years, and we finally figured out that I had endometriosis. And I had surgery. We removed it, and we thought it was gone, and it came back.
Wow.
Do you feel, Sheila, let me throw this at you, because all of a sudden you're in a boom with 3 of them. Surprise! And they are identical twins. We should
No, they're
Triplets.
I mean,
paternal.
they're paternal twins.
Triplets.
Triplets.
Did I say that right?
Triplets. Paternal triplets.
Paternal triplets.
You keep saying twins. I'm like, well, there's a bonus one right there.
Oh, man. The math thing has always been a problem for me. I can't keep all these kids straight. Did you feel, let me see how I can say this. When you're not able to do what so many other women can do, did you feel less than complete?
Absolutely. You feel like there's something missing, why me? You feel like you're the only one, you're being singled out, and so later you realize that, even your next door neighbor, there's so many people out there with some kind of a problem.
Did you
that they
verbalize
can't-
it when you got together with other friends, girlfriends?
No, it's something I didn't really want to share at
Really?
that
So
point.
you kept it inside like a secret?
Absolutely.
You too?
No.
Did you?
I talk to a lot of people, but quite honestly, nobody understands unless they've been through it.
That's true.
And I worked as a motivational coach helping women achieve all sorts of goals for like 8 years. And once I pulled off that goal, I basically, that's almost all I do now is I help them with that because I know myself, it's not the same. I mean, your mother had 5 kids and you're going,
Yeah.
okay, right. You know,
What's wrong with me?
she just
Right?
she's not going to have the reality of somebody who has gone through it. And I think these guys probably feel the same. It's just, it's devastating. It's a hard thing.
Go ahead.
I work in the field also. I work in an OBGYN office. And that's all I deal with is pregnant women. Every day, 5 days a week, you know.
So it was heartbreaking for you
yeah.
every day you went to work.
Wow.
That's all you dealt with.
Well, we pretty much established the problem, where you were. When we come back, we're going to talk about where you are, how you were able to overcome it, and what hope you may offer for other women out there. So that's the second part of this segment, which we also say has got to be one of those special segments we've done.
Absolutely. These little 5 children right here are making me think so.
We'll be right back.
Stay with us.
What we want to do now is try and get a feel for how you overcome the problem, both A, emotionally, and B, physically. The physical part, I think we can probably overcome it, but it must have been a process, and we're hoping that you guys can take us through
Well,
it.
I have a question. How long did each one of you wait before you actually went out to seek help for this? Like, how long do you think, okay, it's me, it's just the timing's off, whatever, we're not getting it right. How long do you recommend that somebody out there waits before they seek a specialist in infertility?
a year.
A year?
They
of
say
trying?
technically if you've been trying on your own for a year, you should see a specialist.
So it's really a matter, I'm going to come over here and grab the banker. Come over here, Tristan. So you make this realization, you go to see your doctor for the first time, and after you've had some conversation with him, he finally says, well, we're going to use this procedure. The procedure is in vitro.
In vitro.
In vitro,
Not
right?
necessarily.
It's an individual.
What do you
Yeah,
want?
depending on what your problem is.
What are the different options that people have to get pregnant?
There's infertility drugs, there's insemination. You know, it just depends on the problem and what your doctor thinks that you should, you know, what you should try first.
And how did you all become pregnant? You did.
In vitro. That was my 3rd attempt, and it worked.
And how long do you have to wait in between, like if you do in vitro and it doesn't work, how long do you wait before you do it again and again?
Depends on how much money you have and how much of a
how
nervous
expensive
wreck
is
you
that?
are. I waited years in between. I was achieving other goals, and quite frankly, I think when you fail, you don't necessarily want to jump right back in. Fortunately, my doctor, Dr. Eiserman, wouldn't even embark on in vitro until he really diagnostically knew exactly why I would go through in vitro and the embryos wouldn't implant. So
There's an awful lot of people sitting at home who are asking themselves, what is it? And, you know, I know it's in the news all the time, but they haven't really experienced it or gone through it like you have. So would one of you give us a definition of the in vitro experience? Either one of you that wants to go for this.
Did all 3 of you do in vitro?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You know, it's not an easy thing to go through. It's, you know, physical, emotional, everything.
What? How?
There's-
Why?
You're on a ton of different medicines. They make you feel a certain way.
Do they give you fertility pills
You're on
before you
inject-
do
You're on
injections?
injections.
Before you do the in vitro, they get your...
It's a 2-month process.
Okay.
So, like, the first month, you're on birth control pills.
Uh-huh.
So they can regulate your period to know where you are in your cycle. Then the next month is when you start all the injections.
Right.
So,
And what are those injections for? Increase your fertility?
yeah, increase your eggs, how many eggs you're going to have. They need to get to a certain size.
Your own eggs.
Yes.
Okay. Then?
And then they also have you on injection that they will know when to retrieve those eggs. They can keep you to a certain point.
Now, does this have anything to do with the male also? I mean, did any of you, your husbands have a low sperm count or something like that? It was just solely the woman's side on this.
Well, mine was just me, but...
And how does each one of you, how do your husbands feel about what you went through? Were they supportive? Were they...
Very.
Because I would imagine that,
They have to be.
You
to
know,
go
I
through
mean,
all
they
that.
see how rough it is and what you're going through. Like she said, you do a lot of hormones, and a lot of it is injections. You become a pharmacist at some point. You're mixing liquids with powders. And you're
injecting your body
You're afraid
everywhere.
something's going to explode. You inject yourself.
You do self-injections?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
I was on injections. I was on a blood thinner. And I injected my tummy into like 2 months of pregnancy.
Wow.
It's,
That's amazing.
it was
Takes
worth
some
it,
courage.
but
Yeah, I was going to say, it takes some courage to do that, to give yourself an...
I wasn't able to do it. I drove to the doctor's office every morning and every afternoon.
She's like, I cannot inflict pain on myself.
Absolutely not.
This is a very expensive project, by the way, going through something like this. It takes tens of thousands of dollars in some cases,
How
correct?
much is a in vitro situation? Like,
A good 13,000 at least.
About
each time you
$13,000.
tried, it was
I mean, the
13,000.
medicine alone is.
And for you, they
Yeah,
charge you
that.
3 times, right?
No.
It was a package deal. But you can go in there and tell them, like, you said you only put 1 inside of you, and you put 2 and got 1. You put 7.
Well, we have to remember 9 years ago, I mean, it wasn't quite as advanced as it
Right,
is
so
now.
better
So,
chances
the
now.
better chances was the more you put, the more chances you have. And the likelihood that all of them were sticking, wasn't real high.
One word to describe what your life is like now with child.
total joy.
Oh.
Absolutely. I mean,
It's amazing. And if it wasn't for their office, I would never be here today.
Well, that's
talking
great.
about it.
Thank you
We're
for
so
all.
glad you
Thank
guys
you
are
all.
here.
Thank you. It's
So
such a
wonderful.
great story.